Hello and welcome to the IRN-CRU. This is your American football podcast made in Scotland by NFL lovers. I'm your host, I'm Danny McVeigh, and I am joined tonight by the one and only Scud. Scud, how are you, mate?
I'm grand, buddy. Yourself?
Oh, tip top. It's absolute roasting, so try to cool down a wee bit in this room. It wasn't a great idea being in here.
No, definitely. I'm kind of wait. I'm kind of wait to go on holiday, but I'm quite struggling even further with the heat over in Tenerife. But
Get to
I'll have a beer in the pool.
That's what it's all about, mate. And anyway, it's been a wee hot minute since we last done a podcast. It is the NFL off season now, and you know how things go. The news slows right down, but you know we might as well hear. There's been a few things happening since we last sent out a podcast. You know, I just let everybody know that we are still here, we are still paying attention. But as you know, the summer months roll on, we get a wee bit distracted. We holidays, like you say, Scud, and other bits and pieces that go in our life. So, kind of just what you've been up to. Anything new happening in the world of Scud?
No, mate. Same old shite, different day. Working away, playing hard, but nothing much, mate. Just working hard to try to catch up with TV series now that there's no football, not football or soccer watching at the moment. So
That's
just
pretty
try to do that.
slim pickings for sport, isn't it? You know, you're actually having to start to converse with the family and kids and stuff. Who knew that was such a
Women
slog?
Euros. I even tried women Euros, but it wasn't working.
Fuck off, did you? Did you actually try and watch it?
No, I did not. It was on in the background. I was over at Louise's mum and dad's, but it was hard to watch.
Tell you what, bet it's still be better than that FIFA Club World Cup nonsense that's going on. I don't think I've watched a single
Is that still going on?
of that. I think so. I saw Real Madrid, I think, get pumped off PSG the other night. I've got absolutely no interest in it. I'd rather watch the pre-season friendlies go. I think they're much more fun. But no, good, mate. Glad to see you're in fine fettle, looking well as ever.
Yeah.
So we've established then it has literally just been trying to fill the void, has it? Streams, TV streaming, is that what it is?
TV series.
It's easy for me to say, spit it out, Danny.
Streaming. Just I think I watched that White Horses. I blitzed that, and no, it's no White Horses. It's Slow Horses. But no, it was really just wee things like that. Just playing catch up, but
you know, been doing anything, nothing to get your NFL fix.
No, apart from the odd film like drafting that here and there, but before the draft and that, but nothing much major, mate.
I've been a bit the same. And, you know, a month ago, obviously moved house and stuff like that, been decorating and getting on with all that sort of stuff. So definitely been out the loop for a wee while, but it's not a bad thing, you know, because it's such an intense sort of 6 months, you know, between pre-season friendlies and, you know, the pre-season starting right through to the Super Bowl and then into the draft. It's not a bad thing, just to chill out. Just like the players, you know, you've seen them now in the beaches running about throwing balls at each other. We deserve to do that as well. So
substances in that.
Well, look, you know, what goes in tour stays in tour, so they say.
Unless they post it on social media.
Oh, fucking idiots, isn't they? But though there has been quite a bit, you know, and it's obviously quite a slow moving time of the year. There's always just it's drip fed. So, you know, I think enough time has passed and we've been able to pull together quite a few bits and pieces and really try and throw them in. So, well, I think we're firing it on social media now. If anybody's got any questions, then by all means fire them in because we're really just here for a bit of blather, bit of chat, no real agenda. See what we end up blathering about, but you'll try and cover some of the news. Is there really anything that's caught your eye, Scud, over the last, I don't know, 2 months or so? I guess it's been a wee, it's been a hot minute.
A wee minute. No, to be honest with you, it's been slow, slim pickings. You had people holding out, then signing in, getting their deals.
Right, well, I'll tell you, I've got a good one to start with. I think it's well worth. Right, we'll start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I think they're the team that really have made a few splashes since we last had a chat. I don't think we've even had a chance to speak about it, even when we had a wee catch-up or a beer on Sunday. But Aaron Rodgers obviously signs on a 1-year deal at the Steelers. Then they had that trade for Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and what was it, and a 7th for Minka Fitzpatrick, and a 5th back to Dolphins. What do you make of these moves for the Steelers? You think is that an all-in move, or is that a polish?
It's all in, but it also might be the end of Mike Tomlinson. I just think depends how toxic Rodgers can make the dressing room in a year.
Yeah, but Jalen Ramsey isn't exactly a shrinking violet in the dressing room as well. TJ
But he
Watt
just
in
needs to
there.
manage to. It will all be interesting how they manage all those egos.
Look, this is the guy that managed Ben bloody Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and there wasn't a peep at them. So I think if there's a head coach in this league that can actually maybe get them together, maybe they
potentially. Though I think they're going all out. They're definitely trying to make the playoffs and make a push. Rodgers will want to do it for his meant to be last season. So it'll be interesting to see if that he actually continues. Because I thought it was getting better and done okay with the Jets last year. So it'll be interesting to see if he can carry it on another season removed for that injury. See if he won't be, the mobility's not going to be there, but the accuracy is always there.
No, for me though, it's why arse about off season. Like, why not sign early, get into the OTAs or the mandatory mini camps and stuff like that, and actually get to know your teammates and sign up. He waited so long the year to finally sign on. He's only got to just get into sort of training camp, and then it's pre-season, away he goes. He's not got a lot of time to actually do anything. And the fact that he's obviously come out and said it's a 1-year deal, he'll likely retire at the end of it. He's obviously, I don't know if this is a move that's a win now sort of thing, or whether it's he wants to just try and maybe right a couple of the wrongs that went on in the Jets. Because everybody will look at his time at the Jets as a disaster. It didn't go to plan. They basically chased him at the door at the end of it. He is probably got to get into the Hall of Fame. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. When you look at how Brady went out on top, in comparison, he's going to let a damp squib sort of thing. Is this a way you can maybe go into a serious franchise with a serious head coach, a lot of good players in there? Look how they've built, even the wide receiver room, DK Metcalf and everything in there as well. That's a lot of big personalities. It's going to be juggled. Do you think that it's just a way for me actually maybe getting a wee bit higher standing rather than with a whimper like happened to the Jets?
Aye, definitely. I think his angle will be minimum, at least win a playoff game. Get to the playoffs, win a playoff game. I think that'll be the floor for him that he'll want. He'll want that to be the minimum that he gets this year. But that is achievable. They said you've got a good coach, you've got a good team around them, a lot of big personalities. That's going to be the key to get all them to sing from the same hymn sheet, shall we say. So
with these new acquisitions, obviously Arthur Smith's the OC. They've obviously brought in Jono Smith back. I think he's had him sort of a couple of times before. Jalen Ramsey in there. He obviously joins that backfield. They've already got Joey Porter Jr. in there and Big Play Slay. I think they signed off the top of my head. That's a tasty. Not back from that's a tasty secondary they've kind of lined up there. So interesting to see how they juggle them, whether Jalen Ramsey becomes that nickel or plays safety, so they go. But do you think these moves with these sort of more aging stars, does that increase their ceiling? Do you think it actually adds more to them, which is already an absolute packed AFC North? If you look at obviously the Browns, the Bengals, the Ravens that they've got in there, they're a lot of strong teams. Does that move them up the pecking order?
I would still say, probably I would say the favourites must be the Ravens for the division. But I would say it's maybe made them closer to the Bengals. Even though the Bengals have kept all their weapons, still think they're lacking in defence. They're basically going, if you score 40, we'll score 41. That's almost the way that they look like they're going with their team at the moment. That's a very one injury and you're done sort of kind of way to go with your team. So
when it was right to see 3, teams, sorry, mate, I wouldn't say see 3 of them make the playoffs out of that division, to be honest.
No.
Strong.
No, definitely. Apart from the Browns, but we don't even know who their quarterback is.
Nobody knows. Shador.
But the guy...
They're starting Flacco, 100%.
They'll start, but you're going to see all three. You're probably going to see all 3 quarterbacks during the season.
That's just a disaster, a team, innit? I just wonder what Stefanski think it, because he's such a good head coach. Like, does he finally say, you know, enough of this? Put me into a franchise, put me in a side that actually takes this shit seriously. Because I think I'd just get pissed off unless the paycheck's pretty tidy. And, you know, I'm an absolute mercenary. I'll do anything for a quid.
Oh, I know. I've seen you tonight out.
Aye, keep them. Right, goes in night suit, stay in night out, Scott.
But no, I think that that'll be a really good division to watch, because I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. The Steelers have made the right moves. Again, it could go really well, and it could go either way. I think really with the Steelers. The Bengals and that are also. I just see they've just went all out and just went, we'll need to win by scoring the most points. They've got nothing in D. Well, they've not got nothing, but not compared to their offence.
Look, you never know. You never know. They could just pull something out the bag. A massive surprise this year. Joe Burrow locked in. Did you see they were going to say they were going to be thingy? What was it? There was one of his old high school coaches said he was glad he was good at football, Joe Burrow, because if not, he'd probably be a serial killer or something. So I don't know whether I'd be offended by that or
seriously offended.
I don't know.
Look about you get
motivation. But since we're talking about trades and stuff here, what about the strangest trade for me the entire kind of off season was the fact that to replace John Smith, the Dolphins went and got Darren Waller from the Giants, which was a bit of a strange one. You know, obviously he retired last year, hung up his cleats, had enough of it. Obviously, had a bit of kind of troubled background as he was coming through from the Raiders. I think he'd alcohol issues and other sort of issues. Then obviously had a monster couple of years, got a massive contract. Injuries then kicked in when he went to Giants. Decided to call it quits, and now he's pulled back out of retirement. Dolphins chucked the Giants a 6th round pick. Do you see him having any meaningful snaps this year?
Yes, the Dolphins need somebody to replace what John Smith had for them last year. He was one of the most consistent players on the roster.
Yeah.
You took away Waddle and Hill, and then he was the most consistent performer. So they need them to perform. They need them to take snaps. The question is, was he really that badly injured, or just enough? Did he just have enough of his time at the Giants?
Well, it's understandable. It's the Giants. So, you know, most people get sick of him eventually. Only kidding, Giants fans. We love you, really. We've really forgiven you for 2007.
No, not.
But I think it'll be an interesting one. He's obviously got talent. He's got all the physical attributes. But how many players do you see you actually end up out a year coming back, especially retirement or holding it, who actually come back? You know, we see it with Le'Veon Bell, Hassan Reddick, all these sort of guys where they've held out a year and they've been relatively fit and come back and just not kind of produced. He's obviously the wrong side of 30 as well.
Mm-hmm. The only opposition I would say to that is he's not anywhere near like Gronk, but Gronk done it and come back and done meaningful snaps.
Yeah,
I know you're a different caliber, but
I see your game here. I see your game here. That's fair enough. No, that's fair. Actually, yeah, he could be a nice pickup then. You never know if he's. And I guess if there's one team and one head coach who could bring it out him, you know, or definitely one of them anyways, it's definitely the Dolphins. So when all those other pieces run about.
Exactly. He's not going to be the number one target like he was with the Raiders, etc. He was basically the number one target. He'll get more room. If he can get fit enough and play, then I definitely think he can be a worthwhile weapon for the Dolphins. I don't wish to see the Dolphins do well, but
nobody does. Not even the Dolphins. Again, only kidding, Dolphins fans. We love you, really. Right, what else is happening in the world? I was found in some notes. I was giving it a really good think before, and maybe the latest in the Gates saga might just have kicked off here. I don't know if you've picked up much in this one, Scud, but there was an agreement was reached between the NFL and the NFLPA about keeping the fines of it was a collusion. I don't know, they had like some trial or some fucking shit like that, whatever they did behind closed doors, where there was basically a whole. The NFLPA was basically complaining that there's collusion between the NFL and all the owners, that there would be a restriction in or a limit in the guaranteed money that players would receive in their contracts, following the Deshaun Watson nonsense that he got. Now, it went through and it was ruled that they hadn't colluded, despite there's evidence that Goodell and a former general counsel, Jeff Pash, instructed teams in March 2022 meeting to limit the amount of it. So although they did that, they've now concluded and said that there wasn't guaranteed money. But the interesting thing about this is that it was basically that it was they agreed to keep it a secret, the NFLPA and the NFL. And a lot of people, it's kind of speculated about the people who brought it out, have said that actually that the head of the NFLPA had been bad mouthing a lot of players. And that's why they were wanting to try and keep it secret, because obviously it goes against the NFLPA for them to keep it secret. They should be obviously working for the players, and you know, and if there's so, I'm wondering if this is going to be the next long line in, you know, Gates sagas or whatever else comes up here. But it'll be an interesting one, because at the end of the day, if there is a chance of that, you know, players have got a £50 taken for their back pocket by these billionaire owners, you know, they'll kick off. We could end up with another strike. There we go, get the scabs back. I know, but you know, I'd like to mix it up a wee bit in the world. And so that would definitely want to talk about, I'd want to keep an eye on, but you just know that they're all dodgy bastards anyway, and they're 100% up to be good behind the players' backs.
So that just means Deshaun Watson ruined it for other players as well. Basically. Ruined football.
It wasn't his fault. You know,
Browns, somebody's got to give you that guaranteed money. Yes, please.
Exactly. Stupid to say no. So is the Browns again ruin it for everybody? It's the Browns' fault. I'm pretty sure they've to blame for all the floods in Texas while we're at it. Might as well just blame them for everything. So that happened, but there's not a lot of findings coming out about that stuff now, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on, see if it raises ahead, or is it only deflated footballs and fucking care about? No, that they've got two faces. But this was the worst possible combination for two Patriots fans to be on here and talking about, you know,
exactly.
NFL. You know, I'm about to break out the ideal gas law. I'll start showing you the maths. See, I tell you can get down, right? It's 27 degrees in that dressing room. I'll show you the maths. But no. So we'll not go down that route, right? I'll go and get my tinfoil hat on. But no, keep an eye on that. So what other stuff? Oh, Quarterback started on Netflix, I believe. Do you watch this show at all?
I've not. It's not one that I've watched. I know I heard good things about the first season, but I've never watched it, to be honest with you.
I refuse to watch that one. I just couldn't be arsed with it. It's Patrick Mahomes. Oh, the guy's like nails down a blackboard, isn't he? Just can't listen to him. And just did bullshit run about him. I did hear it was good, but I couldn't bring myself to watch it. The only reason why I kind of brought it up is Kirk Cousins is in this one, and apparently he's got a quote in the first episode saying he felt misled by the Falcons after them drafting Michael Penix Jr. so high in the first round in last year's draft. Is that a surprise? I don't know. Again, we're scraping about here for some news, but does that surprise you?
No, I'm not surprised. You wouldn't sign that contract thinking you're going to be a franchise quarterback just to get undermined in the first round. Playing through injury to try and keep on the team, and you end up getting benched because of it.
But he's still picking up a tidy packet of money or anything. I'm not going to feel too sorry
sitting
for
the sidelines, and how much is he's guaranteed? Is quite a pretty penny, I'm sure. So it's not too shabby, shall we say?
Yeah. Actually, just thinking about Kirk Cousins, did he not sign a fully guaranteed contract when he first signed with the Vikings? Was he not like a 3-year, 99 million?
I said it was
So
million a year guaranteed.
that seems like it's an anti-Browns thing. That collusion. That's what it is. If somebody's already done it, I'm sure they signed a fully guaranteed one back in the day. I can't mind. I need to look that up.
There's still time for the Browns to sign him. Don't worry.
Why not? Just
We're getting enough
somebody's got to stick eventually. Can you imagine? Just keep on signing them all. We can get Ryan Fitzpatrick back out of retirement. I'm sure he can still chuck a ball.
I'll enjoy listening to him. He's a good listen to in the commentary booth. The commentary, the TV.
So you got to watch quarterbacks then? Have I wetted your whistle?
As who? Do you know who else? To give it a wee watch. I don't mind Kirk Cousins. I've seen some of his stuff before on TV, but he seems like a decent enough guy. But I'll maybe give it a watch, see who's on it.
I never watched wide receivers either. I get absolutely hung over to death one day, put it on and fell asleep halfway into the first episode. I think it was like George Kittle or something like that was on it, and I just fell asleep and woke up like 4 episodes in and decided, nah, that was enough for me, and switched it back off and just couldn't be bothered coming back to it. So it's a series I've just never...
to that. But I did George Kittle. You'd like to go on go the night out with him, that's for sure.
Shit, actually, who's on Thingy? I'm going to need to Google this while we're on here. This is what's Hobbit. Who's on Thingy this year? Hard Knocks. Is that Thingy? It's not the Steelers, is it?
Please not, don't want me Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no, it's the Buffalo Bills, is it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Why are they on it?
Yeah.
They must have requested to be on it then.
Not sure. Oh, well, that's disappointing. Because the Steelers would have been a good laugh. Can you imagine that? Anyway.
That would be interesting. Who would you go with?
Some other news, mate, we can touch on. As I say, it is getting into a bit of silly season. But we got the poor Dallas Turner of the Minnesota Vikings. He gets scammed out of $250,000 by someone impersonating a bank. That's disappointing.
Is that not what chump change for him?
Doesn't matter. That's fraudulent behaviour. That's not on. Actually, that is pretty poor though, isn't it? You know, it's probably his great uncle who was a prince in Nigeria or something like that. Said send him $250,000. He was going to end up with
all these millions.
Coming, and it's easy to fall for. We've all done it. So
I was in the position to get $250,000 away to start with.
What else we got on? Oh, Najee Harris. Apparently, he could have had a sore eye injury. It's a bit of a rumour that's going around about the now. He's also seen with the Chargers out on the 4th of July and get injured with fireworks. So, kids, public service announcement here. Fireworks are dangerous. Make sure you're with a responsible adult. In fact, Najee Harris, make sure you're with a responsible adult as well, because, you know, you can get seriously damaged with these things. But apparently, it's may have went in his eye, and they could be partially blinded. So if that is, it'd be interesting to see how that impacts kind of him going forward, because this isn't exactly the first time fireworks in an NFL player haven't exactly got any plan on it. It was at JPP back in the day. They, you know, blow off a couple of his fingers and
put a firecracker in his hand and shut it. Why would you do that?
Mate, why not? Day in for a quid.
You didn't need it.
No, that's yeah. So I'm interested in the. Can I say it? We'll keep an eye on that one. Come on,
that's coming out here.
That's my best joke of the day. Even a chuckle at that one. Anything else catching your eye? That was my kind of rundown there, Scud. I don't know if you've got anything else that you've seen or.
No, just mostly intriguing in the draft, and it sounds weird, but I think this could be a make or break year for people like the Jags with Trevor Lawrence. I think they've got two good wide receivers, definitely one good in Thomas Jr., and then you've just signed. Oh, why have I forgot his name after watching him all season? Hope Milando. Who's the boy that's wide receiver that the Jags took? Number 2?
Travis Hunter, are you talking about for the draft?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I was
praying me,
you had me in my spot.
was praying we got him so much, and then I forgot his name there. But so they've got a decent roster now round about Lawrence, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. I've just realised can you hear me all right? I know I'm lagging like hell, but
Can you hear me? Aye, I can hear you fine, mate. For I am a bogus gas man. And I'm here to ransack your house. It's a wee bit laggy, but we're all good. We're all good. I can still hear you coming through.
Good.
What about so anything else coming up that you're looking forward to? NFL or otherwise?
Back to my holiday in 10 days. Not even 10 days. 10 days tomorrow.
You're missing out the important thing.
What?
Your birthday tomorrow, mate. You're not looking forward to that. You're turning a big, 45, 47, 50?
Right. Cheeky bastard. No, 42.
42. Many happy
But
birthdays to
nah,
you, buddy.
so I've got a wee cheeky half-day finish, so I'll find myself in a pub somewhere.
Is that the plans, is it? Just go and get yourself into a stupor somewhere?
Well, my wife, my daughter are leaving me, so I'll be home alone, so I'd be rude not to go to some form of a pub.
Why not? Why not? Indeed.
Sunny, shorts, sunglasses, t-shirt, beer, sorted.
Hawaiian shirt. Come on, stick to the script.
Do you know getting packed away, but I'll maybe see if I can break one out just for that.
Well, with the beard, man, Hawaiian shirt, you can just do your best Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. He's my role model. What about yourself, buddy?
I am off to sunnier climates on Saturday morning. I am booked it, packed it, and fucking off to Mexico for a week. So I am absolutely looking forward to that. And then, as I'm lying by a pool, cocktail in hand, getting, drinking all the tequila under the sun, getting burnt to a fucking crisp, no doubt, I am definitely going to be trying to figure out my draft strategy for the upcoming drafts that we have. Because we've got a couple actually started, and I'm actually looking forward to them. I think we'll get our sort of typical one. We've got 2 leagues we're in, and maybe a new dynasty starting. So, I've got a lot of time by a pool to get in my draft strategies in there, because that's how I roll.
I'll happily take your money again, but that's no problem, mate.
Oh, look, I was just getting warmed up. I'm so always. No, get that and then say, mate, I'm thingy's out as well. Superman's out tomorrow.
Exactly, I know that, but
can't
plan
wait.
to be sober enough to see it.
Well, maybe that could be a hangover cure for Saturday, man. Find yourself in a nice cold, in a nice dark cinema somewhere with popcorn.
That actually might be a shout since I'm about all my Todd, so I'll just jump up, go to the cinema, and that'll be my Saturday sorted. I've got a wedding on Saturday, Sunday, so that'll be interesting. Kilted and fully suited and booted for that.
Yeah, well, you look dapper. I think you'll need to make sure you get some wee picture on your Twitter or Bebo or MySpace, whatever you're using.
I'm more the Bebo. I want to bring back Bebo.
I'll send you my love, right? Back in the day. But no, oh, can you believe it? So wee Smudgers just said in there, he's just actually had the cheek to send in a comment saying that it's Dallas Turner of the Vikings getting scammed out nearly 250k is the biggest fraud in the NFL has seen since Johnny Manziel. That's harsh, isn't it? Tell you what, the Browns are catching bullets left, right, and centre here tonight.
It's not as if they don't deserve it.
I don't feel bad about it in the slightest, to be honest.
But no, it's just the Browns just deserve it. Full stop. End of. But as I say, they can only get better. Well, you say that I've been saying that for a while.
Dream's been saying that as well.
Oh,
come on!
I'm not going to try and sing. You kidding me on?
That's only It's Raining Men after 10 pints in a karaoke machine, isn't it? All right, buddy. Well, I've probably taken up far too much of your time already tonight. Appreciate you jumping on for a bit of blather and just a nice, relaxed news crew update. I don't know if you're still with me here, mate. You've completely frozen. Oh, you're there. That's good. That's good.
I can still hear everything. The screen just went blank, mate.
Make sure you haven't glitched it completely on me. So yeah, I've taken up enough of your time. You have got your birthday. I don't know, I was going to say your birthday party. We've established you're not having one of them, but you know, I'm sure you'll be getting treated to a nice breakfast in bed and everything before your good lady and your daughter leave you for the day and abandon you. So I will let you crack on, get some of your beauty sleep. It was an absolute pleasure as always. Just have a bit of laugh and a chat, or in all things NFL related and other, to be honest, which seem to take up the vast majority of it. So no, good to talk to you, buddy.
You too. Enjoy your holidays, mate, and I'll speak to you soon.
I'll do my best. So thanks to everybody who's watching and chatted and sending comments and stuff like that. As I say, we've just been kind of sliving on a bit of nonsense, but we'll be back with a bang very soon. A lot more content coming. We are just working away in the background, making plans for the year coming up. Keith and the rest of the crew will be back. We're doing a lot of good stuff behind the scenes. So a lot of stuff to really look forward to in the coming year. Just keep an eye on all the social stuff. Remember all the following on Facebook and Bebo, MySpace, Twitter and Instagram and whatever else. My face. What was that? Was that the Belichickian sort of thing? So yeah, please like and subscribe and all that sort of good stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you very soon. Thanks for listening.